Oh yeah, we back. Palm colored people going wild. It's your boy Jay Lava. It's your man, not your boy. Shout out to go back to Africa. But so white teachers often talk about black students in racially coded ways, which is more reason we need to get our kids up out of these places because I don't understand how we think that people who don't mess with us is supposed to teach our kids. But it says when a white Texas middle school teacher told his parents in November 2020 that he was ethnocentric and thought his race was superior, he attempted to explain his position by arguing that he hardly the one only person who held such a view. Let me finish. The teacher is seen telling him, "Oh, well, we did this story about the teacher telling him that they're superior. We did that story, so y'all can catch that here." But since the teacher in question has been fired, his termination is hardly surprising given that it was captured on video. But we discovered while performing a study at a predominantly black school with mostly white teachers, many of them, whether consciously or unconsciously, offer harbor negative racial views and stereotypes about black students and their families. The key difference is that their verbalization of those negative views is less obvious in ways than the teachers act. It says the schools we've studied, the negative views are not isolated occurrences, but rather part of a culture of coded racial stereotypes, which we argue encourages the discipline of black students at disproportionately rates. Yes. So, I mean, everybody knows that little Timmy doesn't get suspended nearly as much as Tyrone. That's just a given. Um, but it says, or it goes on to say, our findings were published in a peer-reviewed study that appears in Urban Education in 2022. It's based on a study that began in 2015 where administrators at a predominantly black high school asked for our research team to help understand why the predominantly white teaching staff was struggling to form positive relationships with students. In the first part of our partnership with the school, we found that while black students made up 89% of the student body, they represented 97% of all disciplinary infractions. Conversely, while white students made up 8% of the student population, they received only 1% of the disciplinary referrals. This early equation finding confirmed that studies from across the nation that have shown even when controlling for rates and behavior of and poverty, black students are still disproportionately disciplined compared to their white peers. And I always tell my kids, like, school is a microcosm of what is going on out in the world. If you can navigate school, you have a very good chance out here because that's what you're going to have to deal with. You're going to have to deal with not with being marginalized and standing up for yourself, and it's a lot involved, man. You learn a lot of skills about life in school, but we can't. They it seems like our children are also learning how to be oppressed from oppressors. Hmm. It says, we are education researchers who specialize in cultural and racial issues. We believe that our findings shine a light on how often educators hold racial biases against the students that they believed and entrusted them to teach. Stereotyping was prevalent. Racial biases come into light as we conduct focus groups with teachers and students to ask them about their school culture and experiences in classroom discipline. One of the teachers who participated in the focus group, 84%, were white. During the focus group, 36 out of 38 teachers voiced a stereotype at least once. Through some dip, so up 10 times. While some teachers pushed back against stereotypes they heard, and even more often acknowledge systematic racism in their lives of the students, the teachers still frequently use stereotypes when discussing their students and their families. In the series of focus groups, we asked the educators to find a school to reflect on their experiences in school, interactions with students, and their thoughts on school discipline practices. We were particularly interested in hearing the thoughts of the types of infractions in which students were disciplined and how specific punishments were decided on. For example, why some students who disrupted class were sent back from the office to the classroom immediately, but others received a 10 days of in-school suspension. Hmm. Majority of the focus groups question focused on race explicitly. Even so, we still notice that an undercurrent of racially coded stereotypes as teachers reflect on statistical trends in schools discipline and other school cultures as a whole. For example, in a focus group, white teachers noticed that when then vice principal, a black man, went to the school as a student, he had much more diverse student body. He also had an opportunity to see the different types of behavior. And I think it's a lot of these kids that we have the chronic misbehaviors that don't have that option. They are in class and they're in class by class, where they're all very similar socioeconomic backgrounds, and that really makes a difference. I think the parents are working and unable to monitor them. Maybe they don't have such successful high school experiences, and they don't have the tools as some other kids. We still have a few of them, fortunate to have a number of them in my classes. That's what a teacher said. The teacher directly connects the presence of chronic misbehaviors with the change in students' school demographics. The teacher appends in the past when the students' bodies were nearly equally black and white. The black individuals, such as the vice principal, as an example, could observe better behavior in schools. The teacher therefore communicates an anti-black stereotype in a coded way, implying that black students needed white students to see a different type of behavior. Boom. Boom. They broke that down. In a different example, two white teachers began talking about how parents at the school didn't care about the children. At one point, they pretended to be parents. One of the teachers even made a joke of one parent completely forgetting that they had a child. Teacher one, yeah, just somebody saying, "Hey, you don't know, you don't know, you know, you have a baby, right?" Teacher two, I do. Teacher one, yeah. Teacher two, oh. Teacher one, oh, word. Oh, so they trying to, okay. So trying to make a joke like parents don't even know they actually have kids. And listen, in every society, there are good parents and there are bad parents. Why is it, this overlying stereotype that all black parents are bad parents is definitely not true. Nothing about the interaction is racially explicit, but the teacher's joke invokes a stereotype of black parents as disengaging from their child's lives by using a stereotypical African American vernacular word. When the white teachers at the predominantly black school make sentences like these, they are upholding the stereotype that black parents lack a concern for their children, even if it's not the teacher's intention. A way of bonding. Using a theory that measures the speed of bonding, we found that the teachers use anti-black stereotypes. They often bonded with each other more quickly and efficiently because they were on code. See, y'all, you hear that? Teachers that were on code got along with teachers that's on code. Really? Certain types of communication, often ones that happen nonverbal, can help individuals bond with each other. These bonds make individuals feel better about themselves and their community in data. Teachers often use nonverbal communication or noises like laughter and conversational rhythms while stereotyping their students. For example, in the "hey, you know you have a baby, right?" joke, both teachers laughed as a result of the joke. Just as importantly, the rest of the teachers in the room also laughed. Laughter is an important display of bonding. In other interactions, teachers use verbalizations like, and that's it, to support each other as they engaged in stereotype behavior. So to break this down, y'all got packs of adults these schools targeting our kids, and it's just point blank. And like, for example, what's happening with my shorty in their school, they got a whole bunch of Ethiopians and other people coming in. You know what I'm saying? That they're gonna give preferential treatment to. I hope not, because it's a black school. But, you know, they're government funding, and you know they got to do what Big Daddy Jose Biden say. It says reform through reflection. I don't think there can be any reform for this, though. Like, we're literally talking about people who have a disdain for black children. Like, what kind of reform is there for this, though? But anyway, it goes on to say, based on what social psychologist Russell Faison has found, and teachers are given the time to reflect on their potential biases, and then they have a better chance of removing those biases from their teaching. Through systematic and sustainable professional learning, teachers can become more aware of implicit biases and on how biases may impact their behavior, but they still got to implement them and actually use them. Just because they're aware on them and how, that don't mean they want to use them. They can know all about the biases and how it could affect this, that, and the third. But do they want to use them? This type of professional learning must be coupled with structural reforms to professionalize teaching and achieve lasting anti-bias results. No, what we need is a punishment mechanism. Ain't nobody stop doing nothing unless it's some consequences behind it. You can't teach and train this kind of thing out of people. Come on now. It goes on to say, and we almost done. It says, since our study was complete, the educators, school, and district have sought to revamp, okay, their disciplinary policies and school structures, including deep discussions about biases, how they might affect disciplined students. No, say if the discipline ain't on the up and up or on the right and right, and you're not dealing it out non-specifically throughout all the children, even the 8% that are white, if the discipline ain't right, then they could be disciplined too. All of this, we gonna revamp and all of that. That's just basically way of saying that we just gonna punish y'all in a more covert way. The school has begun to use a restorative justice practices and an alternative approach to discipline that focuses on humanizing individuals and repairing harm after the wrong occurs. The school hired a full-time staff person to support restorative justice. According to the current principal, in the following year, suspensions dropped by 47% in 1 year and chronic absenteeism by 7%. That's a step in the right direction, but y'all know what the point is. Due to inherent biases that you clearly drawn out and displayed, due to inherent group mob mentality by said individuals in charge of students, it's going to be hard to weed those out unless you get some people in of their own community to teach them that understands who they are and what they go through. Don't that make sense? Oh, but y'all can't hire black teachers though for black schools. It's just something wrong. No, it's purposely done. They want to miseducate your kids so your kids don't have the same advantages as theirs do out here in these streets. You don't see all predominantly white schools with predominantly black teachers. You never will. Let that sink in for a minute. But guess what? I ain't gonna hold you, but I'm gonna mold you, fold you, and told you about being on code, boy. Seriously. Give y'all these two little young exposés today, and I'm out, man. Enjoy y'all Sunday on the runway. You feel what I'm saying? And I got 4 words for you. Or matter of fact, Cedric had 4 words for you. It's love, peace, blessings, and maloha. Out the doha, for sure how. You already know, cuz.
Sandra Blackwood for Hot Lava Music TV. First off, let's get this straight. I only want a boss. And I like to see a boss and boss shit. Where can you get boss shit, you ask? Well, dig this player. Boss 3 Anti-Clothing got that drip for you and your missus. Now first, go follow at Boss 3 Anti-Clothing on IG to see more real boss shit. And second, please log on to boss3anticlothing.com. That's boss3anticlothing.com.
We need to go out here and say exactly what we want. And we got to say it with our chest. And we kind of start pussyfooting around, and we got to stop being scared to say exactly what we want, what we need. We need that paper. Say it with your chest. Damn all that. We need justice. We need y'all to love us. No. We don't need that paper. We need reparations in the form of a check. Let's stop being afraid to say it.